Oh, goodness. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Welcome to the Morning Sesh. I'm Goldie.
And I'm Clayton.
And we are stoked to be back with you on another Friday morning here in the Mile High City.
We are, and a particularly beautiful day we have here today.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's actually been beautiful weather for the past week.
It has.
And which is interesting because May last year, we had like a big freeze May 30th. Remember that?
Absolutely. Well, it snowed like pretty regularly up until the second week of June last year.
It really did.
That was wild.
So we're getting a break right now.
We are. A little reprieve from all that weather. This week's actually even a little nicer than last week. Well, last week was technically, I guess, nicer, but it was way hotter. It was like almost 90 degrees last week. Now it's like 75, which is great.
It's lovely.
It is.
Absolutely
beautiful.
lovely. On the Friday sesh, we always like to sesh with you.
Absolutely.
Today I'm seshing on Seed & Smith's Mac.
The Miracle
Wow.
Alien Cookies. Great strain that the fine folks over at Seed & Smith are cultivating. For those of you that know the Mac, you know the incredible terpene profile and how unique it is. The Mac 1 especially, which is caps cut from the original breeder, just has that incredibly almost kind of like creamy, terpy, just delicious aroma. So picked up some of that, and then also picked up a little live resin as well from Seed & Smith. Some milk and cookies, looking nice and beautiful and yellow there. Has a beautiful kind of wet sand consistency mixed with some of those sticky terps, so we're excited to be session on that as well.
Absolutely. And today I want to kind of tell you a little bit about what's been going on with me this week here at City Sessions. I had an opportunity to be interviewed on a podcast called Mind Pump, which is one of the largest fitness podcasts, most tuned in fitness podcasts in the country, which was new to me. But really interesting topic of conversation, and it was cannabinoids and fitness. And I got stumped a little bit with some of the questions that were asked to me. So I brought them up to Clayton. And we've just kind of been diving into this whole conversation about cannabis and exercise. And Clayton, tell me a little bit about how you utilize cannabis in your fitness regimen.
Absolutely. So I love to exercise while I'm high, to put it simply. I have found that cannabis in the exercise experience does a few different things for me. Specifically, I really like to lift, I like to run, and I like to climb. And all of those exercise styles require an element of intense mental concentration to get through the exercise, to push yourself through to the other side. In the case of climbing, to not fall off the rock. And cannabis really helps me get in the zone and really focus and concentrate on the task at hand and really working to just kind of conquer it, whether that's lifting my body weight, whether that's lifting weights at the gym, or if that's running for an extended period of time. And I especially think that with running, you know, when you get into that zone where you're running and your body's not hurting, you just feel great, like cannabis really helps me get there. Cannabis in itself as well is also a vasodilator, so it helps with blood flow during your workout, getting that oxygen to your extremities and everything like that. So, you know, there are some benefits with, you know, exercising with cannabis. And, you know, one thing that I've found very interesting is there's groups of people that exist now. They refer to themselves as Cannabis Athletes. And we've met a few of them at some of the expos and things that we have gone to. And, you know, this idea is, it's becoming increasingly popular. And people are looking to cannabis to kind of give them that extra push through to the end of their workout. So.
Yeah, and I use cannabis in my workout regimen as well.
Yeah.
For yoga, I usually take a dab, or I eat an edible before a class starts. And a dab really kind of allows me to transition into the actual studio space and know that, you know, I'm preparing for an hour of yoga. It also allows me to kind of relax into my muscles a little bit more and get deeper into some of those postures. I also really enjoy cannabis for these long bike rides I've been taking.
Absolutely.
Mostly because if you are a consumer of cannabis, you know that It stimulates the mind. And on these bike rides, I find my mind wandering and becoming creative again. I'm kind of being able to sift through the fog of the situation that we're currently in. So I've really been enjoying cannabis for that. But there were some interesting questions that were brought up to me on the Mind Pump segment. And one was the effects of that CBD could have on the liver. Have you ever heard of something like this?
So, in the research I've been doing about CBD, we're kind of in an interesting place with it because right now with a lot of the testing and things that are going on with CBD, we're seeing large spectrums, I guess, of the amount of CBD that is being administered at one time. I read one study recently for CBD and anxiety where they were administering CBD in 900 milligram doses. Which is a pretty significant dose. I mean, it's a solid dose of CBD at one time. With that, I've heard that there is a point where you do see some sort of CBD toxicity in the body where it has a negative effect. I think it's still really up in the air as to what that specific dosing is and what the true effects of that are. But I mean, cannabinoids are broken down by the liver, especially when you take them orally, like a lot of people do with CBD. And so, it makes sense that there could be some reaction there. I have not heard of it being detrimental to the liver, but, new research is coming out every day, and it does, it does make sense, Alcohol, if you drink it minimally, has less of an effect, but if you continue to consume lots of it over time, you're going to start to degrade your liver. And cannabis, although it is good for our bodies and has all of these really good therapeutic benefits, sometimes too much of a good thing can be bad as well. So, something to kind of keep in mind and to, keep an eye on the research that's coming out.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I think that the consumer is a little bit confused because no one really kind of puts forward the right dose to take of cannabinoids per day. And this was a conversation that we got into on the Mind Pump, what a recommended dose of CBD would be. And I mentioned a wellness dose would be a quarter of your body weight would equal the milligrams per day to start with. And you can always break those milligrams out. We talk a lot about that on this show. But with cannabis being body chemistry specific, you may need more and you also may need less. So knowing this starting point, 35 milligrams for me per day is not going to probably have an effect on my liver. I will be honest with you, I'm taking far more than 35 milligrams of cannabinoids in a day. But I think that being aware of your body is very important. And I recognize that I can function at my optimal with a certain dose of cannabis per day. And I also recognize sometimes that it gets a little out of hand. At the start of COVID-19, I kind of leaned on cannabis a little bit to get me through some of the angst, the uncertainty, the uncomfortable feelings that I was experiencing. And I'll be honest with you, I was consuming too much cannabis. Yeah. And I was waking up with like a foggy mind in the morning and feeling a little lethargic, slightly depressed. And I had to recognize that and readjust. So, I mean,
absolutely.
I don't know what the impact on the liver is, and I was very honest on the podcast about that, and I'm glad that you kind of confirmed that you don't really know either.
Yeah.
Science is going to bring a lot of this forward, which was another conversation on the Mind Pump, which was the pharmaceutical industry getting into cannabis.
Yeah.
And the importance of this, I mentioned, is because when we bring this plant into the fold and it becomes federally legal, and pharmacology can start doing research around cannabinoids, it's going to legitimize this plant and our doctors will be able to get behind it. So that is very important.
Absolutely. I mean, the pharmaceutical industry has they have access to the smartest minds in the world.
Yes, they do.
Like people who study pharmacology are incredibly intelligent and they do a great job, with that field of science. Are there drawbacks to pharmacology? 100%. Are there massive societal changing medications that have come out that save hundreds and thousands of lives? Absolutely. So, you take the good with the bad on that. But what the pharmaceutical industry does have to offer us is an incredibly robust scientific background and a lot of money to put towards research. So, it will, I do believe, help to legitimize this industry. It has the potential to change this industry. And how those changes will happen remains to be seen. But regardless, it is going to happen here eventually when we see federal legalization and we see it coming forward. So, I think it's going to be something that as an industry we'll keep an open mind to, but I'm interested to see how it all plays out on a pharmacological perspective.
Right. And if you guys want to learn more about that, go check out our 2 most recent blogs on the human side of cannabis on Instagram.
Absolutely. And then we also have a comment here from Danny Schaefer saying that the Realm of Caring also has some great white papers to look into if you want to do some more research on cannabis as well.
Yeah, and I believe, Danny, I hope you're still tuned in. I believe that the Realm of Caring, they also provide some consultation if you're trying to get some guidance into cannabis products that would be well suited for your body chemistry to help alleviate certain ailments. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Realm of Caring. Appreciate it.
Danny, thank you for engaging and tuning in today.
Yes. Another question that was asked to me on the Mind Pump was to debunk some myths around cannabis. And I was asked if cannabinoids can help muscle building. And I'm going to be honest with you, I do a lot of research here. My answer to that was no. Motivated people will create stronger muscles through working out. However, when we think about taking in cannabinoids, what we do know today is that CBD specifically is an anti-inflammatory. So after a hard workout, utilizing cannabinoids to help with the inflammation, to help bring your body back into equilibrium, whether it's through topical form, so rubbing it directly into the muscle, or orally, or both, which I think that we both participate in.
Absolutely.
Both consumption methods, is really kind of where you're going to see the most efficacy from cannabis in terms of incorporating it into your fitness workout.
Absolutely. And aiding in that recovery process is key, and we know that cannabis stimulates the healing process the body goes through. But the one thing that muscles need to build are proteins. That's what they're made out of. And cannabinoids are not proteins, but an interesting thing about the cannabis plant is that the seeds are actually incredibly high in protein, and you can buy them from Whole Foods or Safeway or Sprouts or King Soopers or wherever it is that you do your grocery shopping. They're referred to as either hemp seeds or hemp hearts. And 3 tablespoons of those added into your morning smoothie or your oatmeal or whatever it is has 10 grams of complete proteins. I try to put them into my morning shake after I work out in the morning to stimulate that muscle building. So do cannabinoids help with muscle building? They might help with the recovery and the healing, but as far as actually building muscles, you need that protein, and the cannabis plant provides that to you in the form of its seeds that you just eat as a food. And they honestly taste pretty good too.
Don't really believe that because you're drinking it in a smoothie, but we'll go with it.
I've eaten a big spoonful of it. I mean, it's a little grainy. It's kind of like eating a spoonful of quinoa or something like that.
All right, fair.
Yeah.
All right, so all in all, it was a very interesting interview that I sat through, and really beneficial when speaking to the fitness community about cannabis, because I truly believe that it's a great incorporation into your fitness regimen.
I agree.
Not to necessarily get something out of it in terms of the actual working out, but just in terms of being able to shift the mind into the next space that you're operating in. And it provides a nice release when you're doing that.
Absolutely.
All right. So, because it's Friday, we get to sesh with you.
Woo!
And this is so good, by the way.
Yeah, the Mac is incredible. It's a really, really great and very unique terpene profile. It really, really is.
It is, and I want to tell you a little bit about the sensation since I've taken a few puffs of this. So first off, I feel very relaxed in the body. And if you've been following me on social media, you know that I have been incredibly sore lately from overriding. But I can't help myself because there's just such a sense of accomplishment getting on a bike and covering distance and seeing the beauty of Colorado. So right now, my body feels unbelievably relaxed, which is great. I feel really happy in the face. I also just, again, feel relaxed. Like there's no tension in my mind. There's no tension in my muscles. So I would say it's a really great after work toke. And if you are unemployed right now, it's a really great day toke.
It's Friday. You ain't got no job. You got nowhere to go. We're going to get you high.
So with that being said, we want to tell you a little bit about one of our dispensary partners, Seed & Smith. And Seed & Smith is a vertically integrated operation on the east side of the city off Havana Street. They grow high quality cannabis. They process with butane as well as CO2, and then they also have distillation underneath their umbrella. And then they have a really great little dispensary that's attached to the full operation. And we actually frequent Seed & Smith for our extraction tours. They gain us access into their state-of-the-art lab where Clayton and myself take our guests through the process of CO2 extraction as well as hydrocarbon extraction, which is butane, and then the distillation process. And what's nice is we get to walk our guests through the front door of their dispensary to purchase their products that they make in-house.
Definitely. And Seed & Smith, kind of a little bit different than some of our other dispensary partners who are kind of the mom and pop model. Seed & Smith is a production facility. They have their dispensary located where their grow and their lab fully vertically integrated operation there off 51st in Havana. But you can also find their products, their concentrates, flower, vaporizer cartridges in about 200 stores across the state of Colorado. You go seedandsmith.com and do their store finder and find exactly what you're looking for. They produce a really high quality product from the flower to the extraction. I have been continually impressed as we have built this relationship with them and how we have continued to, as we've continued to work with them, just seeing the quality that they have been putting out and bringing to the market here in Colorado. They're also doing a really great job of staying up to date on some of the most popular strains in the industry right now. I mean, we're smoking Mac 1 Caps Cut, which is a coveted cut of the Mac strain, a difficult one to come by. I know that they added Kush Mints and Jello and a bunch of new flavors to their menu very recently, which is exciting. So if you're on the east side of the city, or if you're just in Denver looking for a new place to go and want to take a little drive, head over to Seed & Smith. It's a cool place. It's a great experience, and I have to say too, I absolutely love what they've done with their branding. Their little packages and everything they've got here. Their concentrate lids and containers that absolutely perfectly match their packaging. They're doing a really great job elevating the brand and building something really cool here in Colorado.
I agree. And not only do they have an exceptional product, they have an exceptional team.
They do.
They really do.
They have a really great
just
team.
Some of the nicest, most professional people I have ever met in cannabis, and it's consistent. Mm-hmm. Every time you walk through that front door, you know what you're getting in terms of the energy, the personalities that are going to come at you, as well as the knowledge that every single staff member that I've ever come across obtains. So it's a wonderful experience. We miss you guys. We miss you guys a lot. Clayton got to see you yesterday. But yeah, we wanted to do a shout out to our friends over at Seed & Smith.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you guys for doing what you do.
And thank you for facilitating such a lovely experience this morning on the morning sesh.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate that, Seed & Smith.
I feel great. I'm dabbing on some milk and cookies, live terpene sugar. Like I said, kind of that wet sand consistency, which is my favorite of all the hydrocarbon dab consistencies. It's a wonderful, nice, light body high, cerebral, feeling really nice here for this this Friday morning.
And I'm smoking on a 0.5 gram joint, and in their joints actually come in packs of 2 half grams, where most dispensaries, they serve full gram joints. What I like about this is I don't feel like I have to commit to a full gram right now. I've smoked about half of this, and I'm probably not going to be productive for the next few hours, so going for a walk is probably what's on the agenda next, to enjoy some of this weather so I can refocus myself back into the workday.
Absolutely.
So we're going to end on a high note, everyone, like we always do, with a little song of the day, which is by the artist The Rolling Stones. You Can't Always Get What You Want, but it's a rendition that's being brought forward by the Tedeschi Trucks Band. And I recently stumbled upon this rendition of You Can't Always Get What You Want, and man, it spoke to me. I mean, with dancing, with expression on the face, with just reminding myself that you can't always get what you want, and this is a perfect time to be reminded of that, and it's time to pivot. It's time to make the best of what is a very bad situation right now.
Definitely. So, we hope that you all can kind of take some strength from that and move forward and continue keeping on through this difficult quarantine time that we are in.
Yeah, and as always, thank you so much for tuning in. We always talk about how we're a community-based platform here, and we've been feeling the love from the community, and I want to say thank you to everyone who's reached out to us, and we're thinking about you all, and we love you a lot. And do yourself a favor and have an awesome weekend.
Yes, should be beautiful. But thank you all for tuning in today. Have a happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Those are really fun, Sesh.